Hello, everyone, and welcome. I'm an AI expert in hotel operations, and it's my pleasure to welcome all of you from the Europe Hotel School to this leg of your online learning journey. You walk into a gorgeous hotel lobby, and your first thought is just wow. And that's exactly the point. But what you don't see is that behind that wow factor, there is a whole lot of cold, hard math. Today, we're going to pull back that curtain and look at the secret financial blueprint behind literally every hotel design. So take a look at this space. It's absolutely beautiful, right? It's impressive. It's designed to make you feel like you have truly arrived. But for the developer, for the owner who paid for all this, the question is way, way simpler. Is this lobby an asset that makes me money, or is it a liability that costs me money? Is every single square meter of this grand space actually earning its keep? That's the question we're going to answer. And the answer is found in a discipline called space programming. Now, don't let the name fool you, okay? This has almost nothing to do with what color the curtains are. This is the financial blueprint. It's the strategy document that gets locked in long before a single shovel ever hits the ground. It's what decides if a hotel becomes a massive success or a very expensive cautionary tale. So what is space programming really? Well, think of it as the mathematical heart of the entire design process. It is a super rigorous process of calculating the perfect, most optimal amount of square footage for every single area in the hotel. I'm talking from the presidential suite all the way down to the janitor's closet, and it's all done to guarantee a healthy return on investment. This is where the hard numbers of business strategy slam right into architectural design. And at the very core of this whole thing is one critical metric. We call it the efficiency equation, and it is all about one thing: making sure every single square meter of that property is working as hard as it possibly can to make money. See, every hotel is basically broken down into two kinds of space. You've got your sellable space. This is easy. It's the guest rooms. This is where the direct revenue comes from. But then you have everything else: the hallways, the elevators, the back offices, even that beautiful lobby we just saw. This is all non-sellable space. Yeah, you need it to run the hotel, but from a purely financial point of view, it's a cost. It doesn't sell. So here's the multi-million-dollar question. What is the perfect ratio between the space that makes you money and the space that costs you money? Well, the industry benchmark, the magic number that every single developer is chasing, is right here. You want between 70 and 80% of your hotel's total area to be sellable. That's your efficiency ratio. This chart gives you a perfect visual. In a really well-designed, efficient hotel, about 3/4, 75% of the entire building is dedicated just to guest rooms that generate revenue. Now, if that slice of the pie gets too small, if you're down at, say, 60%, the owner is literally paying to build, heat, cool, and clean huge areas that don't bring in a single dollar. It's a massive financial drain that's just hidden in plain sight. But hold on, it's not just about cramming in as many guest rooms as possible. That's only part of the story. A truly profitable hotel has to have a really smart mix of different revenue streams. And that mix, it isn't decided by an architect's dream. It's dictated by the cold, hard demands of the market. This right here, this is the mantra. You have to live and die by this rule. In modern hotel development, there is zero room for vanity projects or wasted space. Every single square meter, whether it's for a giant ballroom or a tiny coffee kiosk, has to prove its financial worth. It has to earn its spot in the blueprints. So how does this actually play out in the real world? It's a pretty logical four-step process. First, you start with a deep, deep dive into the market. Are you building in a city that needs huge conference spaces? Is it a destination for weddings? That data tells you what your primary moneymakers are going to be. Maybe it's a ballroom. Then, after that, you start to layer in the other stuff, the ancillary revenue, like a spa or some retail shops. And at every single step, you are forced to ask that brutal question: can we justify the cost of this? So this is basically the palette that a space programmer gets to work with. You've got your foundation, your core revenue from the guest rooms, but then you're balancing that against potential income from big events, from a luxury spa, maybe from some high-end retail, or even a destination restaurant that becomes famous on its own. It's all about creating that perfect market-driven cocktail of revenue. But trying to create that perfect mix, well, it leads to some incredibly tough choices. It becomes this high-stakes game of trade-offs, where every single decision can mean millions of dollars won or lost. This is what we call the developer's dilemma. All right, let's play developer for a second. Here's a classic problem. You've got 200 square meters of space to play with. What do you do? Option A, you build a luxury spa. It's an amenity. It's probably not going to make a ton of money on its own, but the hope is that it lets you charge higher rates for all your rooms. Or option B, you scrap the spa idea and just build 2 more guest rooms. No fuss, just direct, predictable, guaranteed income. What's the smarter financial move? And that is the exact calculation the development team has to make. Is this spa a truly necessary amenity that's going to elevate the entire property and drive revenue? Or is it just a beautiful, expensive waste of capital that's never going to pay for itself? They will run the numbers on this again and again because the stakes are just incredibly high. So let's bring this all together. As you can see, space programming is really a synthesis. It's about engineering an experience that feels amazing and luxurious to the guest, but is, behind the scenes, ruthlessly efficient and profitable for the owner. This table really breaks down those 2 parallel and sometimes conflicting goals. On one side, you have the guest. They want to feel like they're in a spacious, luxurious world. They want a seamless, wonderful experience. But on the other side, you have the owner. They need that exact same space to be lean, profitable, and to deliver a massive return on their investment. The real magic, the art of great hotel design, is figuring out how to do both of those things at the same time. So at the end of the day, the goal isn't just about creating a beautiful building. It's about creating a perfectly balanced financial ecosystem, a space that has been meticulously engineered, and I mean down to the last square meter, to deliver both maximum profit for the owner and an unforgettable experience for the guest. That is the true science behind the art of hotel design. And that leaves me with a final question for all of you to think about as you move forward in your careers. When it's your turn, when you're the one in the room making these multi-million-dollar decisions, how are you going to strike that incredibly delicate balance between the art of creating amazing hospitality and the cold, hard science of investment?